Hi everyone, welcome to this video. So in this video, would be our last video for this session, and I'll be talking about contracts. So in Zoho CRM we call it deals. So I'm talking about contracts, how like people handle contracts for project like sales. Let me just say sales pipeline to make it more understand. So like is the sales pipeline is like the processes you follow with your customers in order for them to like make a sale from you, or to like buy something from you, or buy your product or order your service. So that's what we call the sales pipelines, the stages your customer have to pass through before they get a sale from you, or before you like make sales from them. Let's put it that way. So let's dive straight into it. So this is our Zoho CRM. To get to Zoho CRM, you search for crm.zoho.com from the account you already created previously, since that's what we are still using. So the next thing is, when you get to your home, you're gonna see these modules. We call it modules according to our name here. We call it modules. For some people's dashboard, these lists of modules will be like at the upper part of the screen. So in case you don't see on at the side, in CRM we have like two type of views. We have the CRM for everyone and we have the normal CRM. But this one I'm using is CRM for everyone. So on your upper part of your screen, they might tell you to try out the CRM for everyone. For the normal CRM, usually all these modules are usually at the top part of the screen. So let's go straight into what we want to discuss about. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to click on the deals module. And once you click on the deals module, it takes you to this place. So some of us might see like something like qualification, negotiation slash review. We might see proposal slash like something different here, because I already changed this, so that's why looking different. But we are going to see like something like in this order. So we call this the pipeline. So pipeline, don't forget, is the stages your customers pass through before they make an order, or they buy your product or buy your service, any of that. So the first thing I want to do is I want to change the stages that my customer pass through. So let me go to settings. First go to settings, then you search for modules and fields. Don't forget, that's exactly where we are always changing our fields. So you go to deals, standard, and the next thing you will search for, like you look for stage. So this is stage here. So you click on the three dot beside stage, click on stage probability mapping, and this is where all those things we saw shows up. So let's say I will still leave this discovery call, but I want to change the percentage to 20%. Negotiation slash review, I want to change it to let's say the customers that let me just remove this, because I don't think I want a negotiation slash review in this process. So after a discovery call, like where I know about their business and we've finalized, maybe I want to send a proposal to them. So let me just put this as 40%. And maybe they've not responded. I want to be following up with them. So let's say that's 45%. And finally, they got to pay the invoice of the proposal I sent to them. Let's call this 90%. So yeah, so close the one, close lost the competition and all. So I think that's everything I want to edit for this. Then done. Then you save and close. Then once we go to our deals, we're going to find that edit. So let's go home, which is the modules. And yeah, as you can see, discovery, proposal sent, follow up, invoice paid, and the rest of that. So let's create a deal as a sample. So another thing I want you to know is a deal is like creating a contract or creating a sale. So for example, let's say your customer, they are looking to buy something from you. So let's say the deal name is, let's say your customer's name is your deal name. So let's say my name is Christiana. Yeah, Christiana. So, and the account name is the company name. So let's say your customer is associated with, or they have a business. Let's say your customer has a business, or they are associated with a company, or let's say you are working with a company, for example. So let's say they are working, I mean, like you are working with them as a company. So for example, this will be the name of the person and the company name, like the company of that particular person. But if the person is just an individual, like maybe you're dealing with customers naturally, so you can make this red line means it is compulsory. So in the settings, what you just have to do is that you will make this account name not mandatory. I think I discussed that in one of our videos, how to remove a field from not being mandatory. So all you just have to do, let me as a quick reminder, is go to settings, go to where we are always editing these fields, and check off mark as required from that three dots. Make sure you check it off. So that's for people that are dealing with like ordinary individual customers and not companies or businesses. So the next thing is, let's choose a closing date. So any field that you see that has this red line, they are compulsory fields. So let me just call this 5,000. And I think that's it for that. Then let's save this. So we've created a deal, or we've created a contract. So the next thing we want to dive into is, so these are your like stages for your contract or stages for your sales. So that's what we call it. Then the probability of you like closing the sale, that is what this probability is. So it tells you that, okay, you've gotten to like maybe 50% probability or something. Then it lets you like keep yourself on track if you are going to like win the customer or you're going to lose the customer. So the next thing we wanted to discuss is, whenever like a contract or a deal is created, we wanted to create a project once it gets to a certain stage. So that means when we win the contract, which is closed one, once it has been changed, let's say we created this contract and it's at the stage where we are having call with the customer, which is the discovery call, then we now want to move it to the stage where it's close one. Let's say the customer has followed all this process of, and the customer has paid their invoice, or they have paid for the product. Then you want to move them to close one. So at this stage, let's say you move them to close one, and let's say for companies that deal with projects, or deal with maybe big contracts or contracts like that, or people that do services, for example, and let's say you once they move to close one, like once they pay, then you now want to start doing the project for them. That is exactly what I want to show you how to automate that. So let's say they got the closed one, you win the contract with them, or they signed off the contract, then you want to kickstart working on their project. So here is projects.zoho.com. That is how you get to this place. So here we track projects. You can create a project. It's actually a project management software called Zoho Projects. So this is where we manage projects, tasks, and all of that, timesheets, and anything that has to do with project management. Zoho Project Software actually does everything about that. So the next thing is, we want to, whenever this deal moves to close one, like is updated to close one, we want it to create a project here in the customer's name. So we just say Christiana as the project name, so that we know that, okay, the customer that actually owns the project is Christiana. So now I want to create a project in the customer's name, or if preferably the customer's company name. So, but in this sense, I'm going to use the customer's company name because the customer is associated with the company. But if the customer is not associated with a company, don't forget, if customer is just an individual customer, does not have a business or company, you are going to use the customer name. Let's take note of that. But and that's why I said that, like, to be able not to fill this field, you have to go to the settings and mark it off as not required. It's because they are required. That's why we are seeing those red lines beside them when we are filling in to create the deal. So now let's just dive straight into it. What we want to create, we want to create a workflow. So a workflow is like a process that you want to make, like you want it to happen automatically, that you don't have to be creating the project yourself. So you know that, okay, when your customer get to this stage, you should actually create a project for them to track their project. So, and you don't want to be doing this anytime that you are coming across like any customer and they get to this stage. You now have to be creating it manually inside Zoho Project yourself. You don't want to do that. So, but you want to like automate the process. So I will show you in this video how to do that. So let's go straight into it. So in workflow, we have the trigger, we have the condition, and we have the action. So the trigger is what happens at first, which is when you update the deal to close one, because that's exactly what we want to do. The stage we are talking about is when you update this particular deal to the stage of closed one. So that is your trigger. Then your condition is if the stage is what close one. You know, we have several stages, so you cannot just say when we update the deal. We have to be specific. So it's your condition that says when the stage is closed one, or when your stage contains one, because I'm very sure that there are several ones that contains lost, but you just say that contains closed. So you just say that contains one because there's no other stage that has this word one. So you just say once this deal stage gets to one, like the deal stage contains one, it should create a project in the account name or the company name that we have here. So let's go straight into it. So you are going to flow.zoho.com. That is where you're going to, that's how you're going to find this. Flow.zoho.com. Then you click create flow. So it's a CRM due to Zoho project. So let's name it as that. Due closed one to Zoho project. So let's create. And if you can also describe what you want to do there. So what we are choosing is app. We are dealing with apps. So that's why we are choosing app. Next thing is CRM is your trigger, because don't forget your trigger is when your deal state gets to closed one. So you click, once you've clicked the app, or for people that are like, for a new account, you're going to just search for Zoho CRM and it will bring it out for you. Just click on it. Do you get? So then next, because it might not show up the way it showed up for me. So the next thing would be what our trigger, don't forget our trigger is when we update lead. So this is the perfect one. We when we update deal, and that's the perfect one. Triggers when an existing deal is updated. So that is what we are choosing. But for this first, let me give you like a little explanation. When an entry is created or updated, triggers when a record is created or updated. So let us say we want to like that create the project when we create the deal. So immediately that time I created that deal, it automatically create the project. That is exactly what this one is for. Then new contact. Let's say maybe you already have like a new you want to create a contact and you want something to happen after you create the contact. You use this. Don't forget in Zoho we have lead contacts. You get. So it's like when you create a contact here, something should happen. That is when you use this trigger. When you create a lead, something should happen. This is when you use this trigger. Or maybe in other modules, you can see we have a lot of modules here. So maybe in other modules, you want to create something and something should happen. You can choose different modules inside here. So that's where each of them is actually depending on what they are talking about. So that's the way. Then updated is when you update them. Not in this sense, it is not create. You've already created them, like they are already existing. But when you now update them, like maybe you make an update is like making any changes. Let's say I want to change anything inside here. Maybe I want to change the company name, maybe I want to change type, want to change any part of the field. So that's what we call updates. So in this sense, we are looking at when we change the stage to close one. Do you get? So now this is what we are going for. Updated deal triggers when an existing deal is updated. So now next, then this is, we have created our trigger. So this is our condition criteria. The filter criteria is your condition, and the condition is the stage. It contains one. Seems like contains one. So that's exactly what we are going for. Then you click done. We've created our trigger and condition successfully. So the next thing, what do we want to happen next? What we want to happen next is to create a project in Zoho Project. All these things are projects, project names. So we want to create a project. So we will look for Zoho Project here. You can see Zoho Project. Then click on it to drop down. Then you scroll and look for create project. So this is create project. So you left click on it, then drag it. You can see, drag it here. Automatically opens by itself and it loads. Then we want to do mapping. So mapping is like mapping fields from your right here to your left. I'll show you how it works. So for the project name, we want the due name to be the project name, but in this sense we want the company name to be the project name. So let's go to click on this one, then you can see account name. Make sure this one is, clicked already. Then you come here, click account name. It appears there. Then we don't need start date and end date. We don't need project overview, owner, and you can choose the owner as yourself. As myself, I'm the owner, of course. Then we have the budget. We don't have budget, so we want to put the budget value, and the amount for this stuff is, as you can see, 5,000. So let's put that. So that is amount. So just click on it, then click amount. Trigger amount to appear, just like the way we did for this one, the name. What we are using is company name, so that's why we are choosing account name. But if we are using the deal name, it is this D name you choose. So now the next thing is, I think that's pretty much everything we want to map. That's only once. So done. Then once you are done, you turn this on, and it tells you your flow is switched on. So now we want to test our flow. So let's go create a deal in CRM. So let's create a deal. So create a deal. Let's call this Christy. Then let's end it at July 13 discovery call. The account name, let's see that as Benton sample. Then contact name, don't forget your contact name. Let's call it Christiana Test. So let's save. Oh, let's save this yet. We forgot our amount. Let's put it as 30,000. Then save this. So as you can see, we've created our deal. So it's expected that your account name should be, like, your deal name should be Benton sample. Why? Because that is what we actually wanted to happen. We wanted the deal name to be the company name, and the company name is what? Benton sample. After you've created your deal, the next thing you're going to do is update to close one. So click on close one, save. It has been changed to close one. So your flow should work now. Let's reload the page. So as you can see, it worked. So your trigger, don't forget, your trigger was when it updated to close one. So as you can see, it worked. And let's check the owner. The owner says Chris. So once we expand the project here, then it shows that we have created our project. So our flow worked. And also to check, you have to check your history. This history here. So it tells you completed. If it tells you completed, your flow worked. If it does not tell you, if it tells you failed or filtered, that means your flow did not work. So you can see it shows green here, it shows green here. So the output is this. So this is the output. So that is all for this video. So if you have any question, you can also let me know in the comment section, and I will answer your question as soon as possible. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for passing through all this section. If you came right up to the end of this session, congratulations to you, and we look forward, and I'll see you at the top.